Roostertail Talk, a podcast dedicated to everything related to the sport we all love, hydroplane racing. I'm your host, David Newton, and it's time once again, so sit back, relax, and welcome to Roostertail Talk. It is March 31st, 2020, and welcome to episode 28. Now, for today's episode, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and we're going to take a time travel journey together, back to 1995. I dug into the archives here at Roostertail Talk, and with the help of my friend, Harry Gatchins, we got audio from the radio broadcast of 1995 APBA Gold Cup. Now, the tape does run a little bit slow, so the voices are a bit deeper than I would think they would be. But you hear from announcers Steve Montgomery and Jim Hendricks as they report in Detroit. This was a fun time in unlimited hydroplane racing. There was some big-time money in the sport, with sponsors of Budweiser, Smokin' Joe's, Pico, T+. There were a lot of great drivers, a lot of races in the summer. There was 10 races on the schedule in 1995, all with TV coverage on ESPN. And the sport appeared to be very strong in 1995. I hope you're ready, because we're about to time travel for the next 20 minutes, back to 1995.
From Detroit, Michigan, it's Thunderbolts 1995. Today, the fastest race boats in the world, the unlimited hydroplane for the APBA Gold Cup. All the action brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. The only beer with a taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Nothing beats a Bud. By Fruit of the Loom Activewear, clothes that make you feel good. Brought to you locally in your area by... And now to the starting line, and Jim Hendrick.
Well, thank you very much, and hello, everybody. It's been a tough two-day grueling race who hope to take the 1995 Gold Cup. Yesterday, the fleet had to compete in two heats of action. Heat 1A saw Chip Hanauer take the Miss Budweiser to victory after a tough challenge from Dave Vilwak in Pico's American Dream. Pico's took while lapping a boat in the final turn, went dead, but restarted to finish third behind Steve David, who brought the T+ engine treatment home second. Finishing fourth in Heat 1A was Jerry Hoppin Carpenter's Communications. Ken Muscatel's Miss Bell Tire hooked in turn one, suffered right sponson damage, and did not finish. Heat 1B was taken by Gold Cup champion Mark Tate in Smokin' Joe's. It was an outside start, but a wire-to-wire win, with Mark Evans taking second in Miss Wellness Plan. Mark's brother Mitch Evans took third in Miss DOC, while Mike Hansen hooked the Jasper engine and transmission prior to the start and settled for fourth. Scott Pierce finished fifth in the DOC ActiveView Special. Dick Crippen is on assignment today. However, Steve Montgomery is standing by, ready to recap yesterday's 2A and 2B action after this timeout. Budweiser.
Beer. Hey, this Bud's for you. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Pop quiz. How is a Fruit of the Loom 100% cotton t-shirt like an unlimited hydroplane boat? A, they're sporty looking, you gotta love the designs on them. B, they're built to take it and won't shrink in the water. C, Fruit of the Loom tees go fast, better get your way. And D, all of the above. The answer? What do you know? All of the above. Hey, good going.
Jim Hendrick along with Steve Montgomery here in Detroit for Gold Cup 95. We're getting close to action in the winner-take-all final. Steve, brief yesterday's heat, 2A and 2B.
Well, Jim, Chip Hanauer took Miss Budweiser to a second consecutive heat win yesterday in Heat 2A. Mark Tate gave chase, finished second in the Smokin' Joe's. Steve David, third in the T+. Mitch Evans was fourth place in the Miss DOC. Scattell took fifth in his Miss Bell Tire. Heat 2B saw Dave Vilwalk in the winner's circle after a wire-to-wire victory in the Pico's American Dream. Second went to Mike Hansen in his Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Mark Evans took third place in the Miss Wellness Plan. The QView finished fourth for Scott Pierce. Jerry Hopp was fifth in the Carpenters Communications Presents Miss APBA. We'll have more from the Gold Cup 1995 after this from your local sponsor.
All right, back here. First action of the day, Heat 3A was taken wire to wire by Chip Hanauer and Miss Budweiser at an average speed of a little over 150 mile an hour. It was Chip's third straight win on the two-day event. However, the heat was to go 5 laps, but after the third lap, the heat was flagged. Hansen flipped the Jasper engine and transmission entry on the back chute of lap number 3. The driver, Hansen, okay, but the boat damaged and withdrawn from this event. Second place in Heat 3A went to Dave Vilwalk of Pico's American Dream, followed by Mitch Evans in the Misty and Jerry Hopp in Carpenters Communications. Steve Montgomery talked to Mitch Evans following the heat to find out about the accident.
You see what happened to Mike?
Yeah, just as soon as I was coming off the corner, it looked like he was running pretty steady right down the back straight, and it just took a bounce, and it just kicked the boat, just went right over.
We have word already that he's fine, by the way.
Yeah, I was sitting next to him. He came out of the cockpit and looked like he was talking to everybody, so he looks like he's okay.
Heat 3B was taken wire to wire by Mark Tate and Smokin' Joe's. It was Mark's second win to go along with one second-place finish for the 2 days. We talked with Tate in the winner's dock.
You look pretty stable on that back chute.
Yeah, I got high the first time down the back chute. It was a new boat setup for today. Even from our earlier test runs today, we changed the boat a little bit. We're just trying to dial this thing in and make darn sure that we're prepared because the water's going to be plenty sloppy.
Second place in Heat 3B to Steve David in the T-Plus engine treatment. Third to Mark Evans in Wellness Plan. Fourth to Scott Pierce in the DOC AccuView. Ken Muscatel did not start in the Miss Bell. We'll recap Heats 4A and 4B closer as the boats are warming up after this from your local sponsor. Back here in Detroit, the Unlimiteds are on the water for the final. They're warming up. In Heat 4A was Chip Hanauer making it 4 for 4 in Miss Budweiser. The heat was marred when Smokin' Joe's and Scott Pierce and the DOC AccuView bumped each other prior to the start. Steve Montgomery met with Bernie Little and his driver Chip Hanauer at the winner's dock.
Are these 5-lap heats in rough water a little tough on the owner?
I can't stand it. No more 5-lappers. I really thought that water's terrible out there.
Did you know there was a little pushing and shoving back behind you there?
Yeah, it was to my benefit. Somebody, I think Scott Pierce was already in lane 1. I was in lane 2, and Mark came up in lane 1 also and had no place to go. Kim and Scott, got into it. I wasn't going to give up my lane 2, so they were both fighting for lane 1.
DOC with Mitch Evans was third in the heat. Jerry Hopp fourth in Carpenters Communications. Heat 4B was taken by Dave Vilwalk in the American Dream after a tight battle with Steve David, who finished second in the T-Plus engine treatment. Mark Evans third in the Wellness Plan. Fourth to Ken Muscatel in Miss Bell Tires. That sets the final field. Here's Steve Montgomery.
The boat's icing for position. Remember, this is not a flag start. This is the old-fashioned clock start. The racers right now trying to decide which lanes they'll have. We'll give that to you in a moment. It'll be Chip Hanauer and Miss Budweiser, Mark Tate and Smokin' Joe's, Dave Vilwalk in Pico's American Dream, Steve David in the T-Plus, Mark Evans in the Wellness Plan. Rounds out the front row. Mitch Evans is the trailer boat in the Miss DOC. And now, Jim, the boats are halfway up the back chute. And looking closely, we see the red boat in the middle of the field. Mark Tate is back between Roostertail somewhere. In fact, back trying to find the yellow boat. He's dead in the water. The Smokin' Joe's has gone down in the water and will apparently not be making the start.
He's starting up down here now. He's starting up here.
Now he's way behind the field, though, Jim. He's not going to be there at the start. Mark Evans in lane 1 in the Wellness Plan. Next to him, Dave Vilwalk will have the inside on the Miss Budweiser. He has lane 2. Hanauer's in lane 3. And Steve David's going to come from the outside in the T-Plus. The Smokin' Joe's way back.
And as on, it is the Miss Budweiser in lane 3 shooting across the starting line first. first. We get a signal it is good. A good start. T Plus was second, followed by the Wellness Plan. And just coming off of corner number 4 to make a start is the Smokin' Joes with Mark Tate way back in place.
Well, watch the race now for first and second because Vilwalk has a lot of speed. He was inside of the Miss Budweiser. However, halfway through the Belle Isle turn, a bit of a lead for the red boat on the outside. Now Vilwalk moving up on the inside. They are going to be side by side as they come up, Jim. No advantage for either boat. Back just a bit. In third place is Steve David in the T+.
All right, as they come down, let's call in Bill Donor. Bill, what do you see down in corner 3?
Well, it's the Budweiser for sure, Jim, out in front, but not a long ways. Dave Vilwalk's on the inside. He's hopping around. The water's rough. Here they come right by us. You can hear them out there. Bud in front. Pico right behind it, the T+ in third, and the Smokin' Joe way back.
So the way it is, it's the Budweiser first. Second is the Pico's American Dream. Third is the T+, the Wellness Plan. Fifth is the Smokin' Joes, who went dead in the water and had to restart and trying to catch up to the field. And overall, sixth is the Miss DOC with Mitch Evans. And we are completing lap number 1 with the time 1:42.4. Pico, we do not see a time for the Budweiser.
Budweiser left a little bit of room for Vilwalk. He was in lane 2, Hanauer was, as they came through the Roostertail turn. Vilwalk had to cut it very tight in the Roostertail turn, Jim. Scraped off a little speed, but he is still in pursuit. Now, Vilwalk goes side as they're on the back straightaway for the second time. Just about a Roostertail lead for Hanauer now as they come by the Detroit Yacht Club. Back of Roostertail is Vilwalk, and then about 2/3 of a Roostertail back to Steve David.
All right, as they come down now on the apex, as you can see the Budweiser once again to Bill Donor. Bill, what do you see?
Well, it's the Bud all the way now. I think unless something happens, it'll be Bernie Little and Chip Hanauer with a Gold Cup win. Pico boat, Dave Vilwalk right behind him. Then the T+ is running better than we've seen it run, I think, in all last year and this year. And right behind them, Mark Evans in the sister ship to it.
As we come across the complete lap number 2, it's still the Budweiser by about 3 boat lengths over the Pico's American Dream, who is second. Third is the T+ engine treatment with Steve David. Fourth, the Wellness Plan with Mark Evans. Fifth overall is the Smokin' Joes with Mark Tate, who went dead in the water 30 seconds to start the race, had to restart. Bad break for them. And the trailer boat is sixth, is the Miss DOC with Mitch Evans.
We're going to have a good race for third place, guys, because Mark Evans, running in the Miss Wellness Plan, is gaining a little bit on Steve David in the black and yellow tee. Watch that. Right now on the back straightaway, they are evenly spaced. A good lead for Hanauer and the Budweiser. Back a couple of Roostertails now is Dave Vilwalk, and just about that far back to T+ with Mark Evans and the Wellness Plan coming up on the inside in fourth place.
And the Budweiser is the complete lap number 3. 2 more laps to go and is about to lap the trailer boat, the Miss DOC with Mitch Evans. Here comes the second place boat, Pico's American Dream, way wide. And a big bounce down there, Bill Donor, for the T+. What you see?
That's right. Flew in the air as it came right around the Roostertail turn. I think Mark Tate's flying all over, too, trying to catch up in the rough water. Smokin' Joe, the defending champion's just not in the hunt now. It's all Bud all the way now.
We've got about a lap and 3/4 as they come off of corner number 2 to shoot. It is the Miss Budweiser with now about an 8 boat length lead over the Pico's American Dream. The T+ is third. Fourth is the Wellness Plan. Fifth is Smokin' Joe's. And sixth is the DOC.
On the back straightaway, we've seen a lot of flying today, but these do have setups right now that are allowing them to run down that long back chute into the wind. Pretty good race developing here for second place now as Hanauer brings the Budweiser through the Roostertail turn. He has a big lead over the second and third place boats. Oh, correction, that's Mitch Evans. He's being caught now by the second place boat, Dave Vilwalk, who comes through with a big lead over the third place boat. It's a parade at this point with Hanauer way out in front.
All right, now we've got 1 more lap to go. The green flag is out. The checker flag will be next. Corner number 1 by the Belle Isle Bridge. It is the Miss Budweiser. Now with about 3/4 of a lap to go, the Pico's American Dream with Dave Vilwalk is second. Third is the T+ engine treatment with Steve David. Fourth, Mark Evans in the Wellness. And the 5th place boat is Smokin' Joe's with Mark Tate, who was the defending champion going into today's action. The Miss DOC with Mitch Evans is the trailer boat, and he is overall 6th. as they come down, and all boats are running. Right, Hunter?
We've got a 95% finishing average here, which is phenomenal for the Gold Cup. The wind's let down a little. Here comes Chip around the Roostertail turn. He's a quarter mile away from the checkered flag, and I know it's a big win for him. Very disappointing last year. He went to the hospital there, so there it is, Jim. The checkered flag is out. It is Budweiser. Ronnie Brown, Bernie Little, Chip Hanauer, a big win for them. They're second of the year, going to Kansas City in 2 weeks.
That's it. We're going to Kansas City. As the second place boat following the Budweiser victory, it's the Pecos American with Dave Philwalk. Third place will go to Mark Evans in the Wellness Plan. Fourth overall now is going to be the Smokin' Joes, and we have a boat down. I believe the T Plus engine treatment has up. We're getting a report now that one of the boats is down. It has to be T Plus. He did not come around. T Plus was sitting really pretty in third place. We get a report that it was a prop or something happened. The boat went dead in the water. So the T does not finish. That gives the Budweiser first, second to Pecos America Dream, third to the Wellness Plan, fourth to Smokin' Joe's, fifth to Miss DOC, and a deal in the T Plus. Boy, what a bad break for them. Somewhere down near the Belle Isle Bridge, we can't see them. We'll be back to sort it all out for you after this.
As cool as your rag top and favorite spot, it's something with hometowns and everyone's class clown. It's always been true. This Bud's for you.
Just for you. A taste you'll find in no other beer at any Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Pop quiz, race fans. How is a Fruit of the Loom 100% cotton t-shirt like an unlimited hydroplane boat? A, they're sporty looking, you got lugs on them. B, they're built to take it and won't shrink in the water. C, Fruit of the Loom tees go fast. Better get yours right away. And D, all of the above. The answer? What do you know? All of the above. Hey, good going.
Well, back here on the Detroit River, it is Gold Cup victory number 10 for both the owner, Bernie Little, and the driver, Chip Hanauer. That's 10 Gold Cups. That's a lot of Gold Cups there, Bill.
Well, it sure is. You know, they haven't lost a heat this year so far in Phoenix or here. Certainly after a disappointing way to end last season for the Budweiser, they're back and in spades. Gosh, they look awful tough to beat. I don't know what happened. I guess none of us know. At the start of the race to Smokin' Joe, they of course, they were in Phoenix, they were here, and I know for owners Steve Woomer and Mark Tate, that's a real disappointment. But somehow they went dead in the water on the backside with 30 seconds to go. They refired the boat and then came around and just couldn't. They're never in the hunt.
Yeah, Steve Montgomery's going to try to find out what happened down there, and he's also going to be talking to very shortly the winning Budweiser team at their dock, and then we'll try to find out what happened to Steve Woomer's team, that Smokin' Joe. Says you're right. That was one of the classes of the field they were supposed to. Now, we've had other action these 2 days. Why don't you bring us up to date on that?
Well, you know, one of the real exciting things today was our Unlimited Light Series, and these boats really ran hard. It was tough out here in the Detroit River on them. They really got banged around, but Mike Milano of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Vortemeier's Ford-powered boat, sponsored by Bob Trudeau Ford right here in Detroit, was the winner. But what a tough race it was for him. Second place was the Miss Leroy, Randy Haas and Carl Haas's boat, Toledo, Ohio. The Irishman Steve Curris, Cincinnati, Ohio, was third. They play boats. And I'll tell you, near the finish, they were running side by side, the Pride of Detroit and Mike Weber and Mike Mamano, and they collided and they tore the whole front off the boat of the Pride of Detroit. The crowd loved it. He didn't get hurt. It was fine. Everything was fine. But I think our Unlimited Light Series, by the time we get out to the West Coast, everybody will really like it. Great boats, piston powered, a lot of noise. There's a big hand right now. Chip's up on top of the boat with a Gold Cup, and that's, boy, does he love this one. Boy, did he like this race.
Yeah, it's his 10th. He gets into double figures, and he gives his 10th Gold Cup for the Budweiser team. We'll be back with more after this from your local sponsor. Back here at the Detroit River, the seat of the Gold Cup, it was Miss Budweiser with a perfect 2 days, 5 victories. Second place overall went to Pico's American Dream with Dave Vilwalk. Third place to the Wellness Plan with Mark Evans. Fourth place to Smoke Joe Mark Tate, who was supposed to challenge, and something went wrong where the boat went down our end, down in corners number 1 and 2, and then had to restart. But by that time, well, he just couldn't make up the space and the time. He finishes fourth. Fifth will go to Miss DOC Mitch Evans, whose brother Mark finished third in the Wellness Plan. Kansas City. While we're waiting for our winning driver interview between Steve Montgomery and Chip Hanauer and, of course, Bernie Little, Kansas City a couple weeks from now, I think the people of Detroit might want to come to that.
2 weeks from today, Jim. That's a big weekend. We got a big Aaron Tippin concert there along with the boat race on Sunday. And I'll tell you this, the Jasper guys are figuring on being there. The final result is that Mike Hansen is all right. He's fine. They're going to go repair the boat. They're going to leave in the morning, go back. All you people that are listening, that are friends of the Miss Madison-based Jasper boat, the boat will be repaired. It's pretty damaged. It did go.
Yeah, it blew. He went straight up on his tail and it was a blowover. Yeah. He had some rough water, and one of the drivers, it was Mark Tate, and some of the other guys in Vilwalk, and they were telling me, look, there was some rough water for some of the slower boats, and it looked like he was trying to save his equipment and was going too slow, and he got off of one of those waves, and it just went up on his tail and went flap right back over.
You know, it's been a glorious day here. It is 80 degrees. We've got probably an all-time record crowd. That's almost impossible when I tell you that, since this crowd is labeled as the largest ever to watch a one-day sporting event in the United States. They're saying it's in excess of 700,000 people, and I'll tell you, they're jammed all over the sides of the Belle Isle. They're all over the Detroit Yacht Club. They're hanging behind us in the Roostertail restaurant. We got terrific weather.
They got the Memorial Park, the Waterworks Park, the Gabriel Richard Park Club. They're under the bridge. They got boats, spectators on both ends of the 2.5 mile oval here. And the Budweiser blimp is flying above us, and look at all these airplanes.
They shut down the highways at almost 2 hours ago. So anybody that thinks hydroplane racing low would have to be here today. Everybody who's anybody from 5 states, from all the Ford, Chevrolet, Pontiac, Chrysler, they're all here. And of course, we've just signed a brand new 3-year contract with Chrysler for this Gold Cup race, and it's a big one. It'll be a glorious event here in Detroit for the next 3 years.
We'll be back with our winning driver interview after this from your local sponsor.
We'll give them all the pizzazz.
Back here on the Detroit River, once again, the Gold Cup 1995 is history, and in the record-setting year for the Budweiser racing team, as the driver, Chip Hanauer, wins his 10th, and so does Bernie Little, the owner. Steve Montgomery is with the winning Budweiser team.
Chip, you realize with 10 Gold Cups, you have blown away all your childhood heroes.
I just want to stand here, and absorb it all,
Take your time, Chip.
Bernie, you can talk.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm so damn happy I can't stand it. That's 10 for Chip and I both. And we're right in there together, and we're going to stay together. Job he did, and what a great race it was today in Detroit.
When did you realize Mark would not be there?
Not till about after the first corner, and I had my hands full with Dave, but I just want to savor this moment so much. These have been tough. To win 10 of these is like nothing I ever dreamed of, and I just want this moment to stand still for a little while.
Bernie, you remember your first. It's hard to believe there are 10 of them now.
Yeah, it really is, because really took a long time to get it. We were in there 8 years before we won a race, so I know what it takes and what it is, and thank you for being here, and we're going to win next week.
You okay now, bud?
Yeah, I'm all right. I don't want to think about next week. I just want to enjoy this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime deal, and I just want time to stand still.
That's a very happy and emotional driver, and he well deserves all the honors. He is a toughie. That was, of course, Chip Hanauer, commenting on his 10th victory in Gold Cup fashion for he and owner Bernie Little and that Budweiser racing team. With a wrap-up after this timeout.
Here. Hey, this bud's for you, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Pop quiz, race fans. How is a Fruit of the Loom 100% cotton t-shirt like an unlimited hydroplane boat? A, they're sporty looking. You gotta love the designs on them. B, they're built to take it and won't shudder. C, Fruit of the Loom tees go fast. Better get yours right away. And D, all of the above. The answer? What do you know? All of the above. Hey, good going.
Well, back here on the Detroit, we know that for sure 400,000 is what they were estimating earlier today. And I'll tell you, the traffic never stopped. Now, I heard Bill Donor, our commissioner, say over 700,000. I don't know. But it is packed. It is packed. You look at the boat club, the Belle Isle Beach, all down the back chute, down past corners number 3, motorhomes, past them a spectator fleet. Back of us, the Roostertail, 3 tiers just jammed. The stands in front of the pits jammed. All the way down to Gabriel Richard Park, the starting line area, Memorial Park, you name it, they're down there. We have one massive audience for this Gold Cup 1995. The final field, once again, the way they finished. Miss Budweiser with Chip Hanauer, the winner. Pico's American Dream, Dave Villock with a second-place finish. Third went to the Wellness Plan out of Detroit with Mark Evans, the driver. Fourth, Smokin' Joe's with Mark Tate. To Miss DOC, Mitch Evans. And the T-Plus engine treatment will be awarded sixth, although he is way up there with something let go. Steve David's T-Plus engine treatment not being able to complete the final heat. We'll, of course, now take our tents, our trucks, our race boats, and head for Kansas City. So all those in Kansas City listening on WHB, in that area, you come on ahead. 2 weeks from today, we're having a weekend of festivities, of qualifying, and lots of fun to be had by all. And we want, of course, say to the gang, we forgot KCBQ in San Diego doing a fine job with us this year. Forgot to mention them our last race, but our apologies. So our radio network will be set to go 2 weeks from now. Our thanks to Steve Montgomery, Bill Donor, our engineer Eddie Bush. Until Kansas City, from Detroit, this is Jim Hendricks. So long.
The APBA Gold Cup has been brought to you by Fruit of the Loom Activewear, clothes that make you feel good. By Budweiser, the king of beers, with that fresh, pure, natural, nothing beats a Bud. And brought to you locally in your area by Join us Sunday, June 16th as the Unlimited Hydroplanes race in Kansas City. This is Steve Montgomery, and this is the Unlimited Radio Network.
I don't know about you, but I feel about 25 years younger now. Hard to believe that was 25 years ago, the Gold Cup in 95. But growing up as a kid and following the series, I couldn't watch the events live. I couldn't watch the races on Facebook Live. We didn't have social media back then. There was no live TV coverage for us other than Seafair. But at Seafair, I was most likely down in the pits watching the race live. So I would listen to the radio in my living room to listen to the race. So listening to this radio broadcast coverage of Steve Montgomery and Jim Hendricks kind of brings me back to those days. Now, there's some notable events that happened. The Jaspers flipped on the backstretch. It wrecked the boat pretty bad. The Bud was undefeated in the very first 2 races in Phoenix and Detroit, won every heat entered. And this was Chip Hanauer's 10th Gold Cup victory. He won for the 10th time. He would later go on to win one more time in 99 to have 11 Gold Cup victories. No one else in hydroplane racing has won that many Gold Cups. And I also talked about the Limited Light Series, which is no longer in existence. We now have the GPs, who are more prevalent. But the Unlimited Light Series was something that was kind of special, that brought a little bit more to the race and more to the package. I'm not sure if Bill Donor, the commissioner at the time, was very prevalent in getting the Unlimited Light Series involved, or who was really behind that. But that would be a fun road to go down one day. Talk a little bit more about that series, because there were some great racers that came from that class, went to the Unlimiteds, but there was also some great racers who never got a chance, never got a seat in the Unlimiteds, that were really dominant in that class. And it was a fun series to watch, but unfortunately it's no longer with us. But also, in the race, Bill Donor estimated that there were 700,000 people in attendance for the race. I'm not sure if those numbers were true or not, but even if it was only 500,000, that's a lot of people at the race. Races nowadays don't draw that many in attendance. Why is that? I don't know. But it's crazy to think about possibly 700,000 people on the shorelines. That'd be a packed crowd. I couldn't imagine being there for that. Wow. Well, cool. Hope you enjoyed that. That was a fun walk down memory lane. I do have some more races in my archives, so I'm going to be talking with some drivers here, and hopefully to some more people around the sport, get some more interviews out there to you. But I might be feeling nostalgic here pretty soon, and might pull out a few more races for you. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our episode. Make sure you come back next week to listen to our next episode. We release new episodes every Tuesday at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your podcast player, as well as rate and review your experience. For more updates on Hydro News, check us out on social media. We're on the major players, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Roostertail Talk is also online with our website, www.roostertailtalk.com. On the website, you can sign up for an email subscription list to get notifications on upcoming episodes, Hydro News, podcast updates, and much, much more. Finally, this is a free podcast to all of our listeners. And if you're really enjoying your experience and want to help us to continue to grow and expand, please donate. You can find a link to donate through PayPal on our website through the support tab. So until next time, I hope to see you at the races.